There are several instances that come to mind when I really realized that I'm the greatest musician ever. One of them was watching Vahlopolis, who usually claims he's the greatest musician, and he's just terrible. So I was like, I'm better than him because I know one chord. So I was all, that makes me be the best. You know, I also, like, you watch videos, people like the Beatles, the Who, the Stones, and you go, I'm better than that. They're like, not even exciting.
Why do I do this? Well, you see street performers everywhere in the cities, in the big cities. In Prague they call it, you see street performers. It's busking, it's called. Sometimes they'll just go out, in front of a house and just sort of start playing. Yes, I'm aware that I don't have an amp. That's really not an issue. It's all about, the music that people hear.
They have actually not mastered any of the musical techniques that would be necessary to be a viable band, or even play things people actually want to listen to.
Yeah, I'm the best. Ain't no one better than me. Second shot of shades. Ate a squirrel and had blood run down his legs. So, I've come under criticism recently from my bandmates and the manager about how we are not a sports team, we are a band.
He doesn't actually play an instrument for the band. He makes his presence there, though.
No, I saw it. I'm going to be honest. I saw the finale of Glee, and I did not like that.
Oh, well, that shouldn't make you not like this song. It should make you not like Glee.
No, I enjoyed it. It's better than it's better than 2.5 Men.
He just runs around screaming whatever thought comes on his mind.
I've been known to, shop around at Aldo for a nice pair of shoes or boots. That's really it.
Usually he's playing some sort of sport of some kind.
They seem to not want to play with me, whether it be like baseball, football, rugby, whatever we're playing.
Alright, boys. The inter-band softball game's coming up. It's going to be the band members versus the crew. It's going to be a big one. Friday night in the lights, boys. Here it comes, here it comes!
And so you get things like, Tyler, we don't have the schedule, but I scheduled it myself. I'd be sitting in my room, listening to T Swift, and be like, hey, you know what? I want to watch a sports movie. So, you put on, you get you Remember the Titans, your Invictus, you got Air Bud, you got Most Valuable Primate. Great films. So you put those in, watch them, go to the boys, be like, guys, intramural softball game coming up soon. And they're like, nah, man, you're retarded. And I go, no, you're retarded, man. You're out of shape.
Tyler Mitch. I met his father in Australia. Didgeridoo Festival. You know how those are. Anyway, Ayers Rock gave me a vision while I was there. It told me myth, which is code for Mr. Mitch, that nice gentleman sitting next to you. Looks rather like Stephen Colbert. It's quite strange. Anyway, his son will be in a band. That was the extent of vision Ayers Rock gave me. Tyler Mitch is indeed in a band. I am told he holds instruments in his hands, he manipulates them, and sounds come out of them. He should really go into sports.
Ah, get in there! It's just like, I remember I watched Most Valuable Primate, picked Sam's pocket, he left his wallet on the ground, so just grabbed that. Bought myself a gorilla, gave it a skateboard, and it just threw it at Mark. So we ended up in the hospital again, and I had to sell my gorilla to the zoo. It's really sad. His name was Chim Chim. I'm a big fan of that gorilla. So sad.
He watched Jumper last night. Did not understand the movie at all, apparently.
So I've been trying to sign these guys for the past 6 months, but every time I call them up, I get some guy who keeps screaming at me about intramural hockey and how I should play tomorrow night.
One night, I watched Remember the Titans, and I told my bandmates as I come down to the band, I come to them and I say, guys, I watched Remember the Titans, and they immediately yell, yo, man, we're not playing football. And I said, nah, we're going to add a black guy to the band.
he's probably better off being on a baseball team or some sort of softball team than in a band. I told him that once, and he thought I was just a suit trying to tell him what to do, tell him how to live his life. But, you know, what are you going to do? These guys, there's not too much you can do with them. You just have to indulge them. Let them go on like this. It's really the only way.
So yeah, you know, whenever we're at like these parties and stuff, just like ridiculous things happen, like that right there. It's just, he does things like this. You know it's raining, right? Are you? See what I have to deal with? Like, I mean, people ask me how I put up with him, and you know, if he wasn't so good at guitar, I don't think he'd be part of my band. But you know, he's a solid guy, you know, despite being, you know, just absolutely absurd. You know, look at him. You know, I don't think anyone else could deal with him. I don't know how I do it.
So one day I told them, back when I actually thought I could make something with this band, I told them that they needed to come up with some concepts for some work they could be doing. Because they really didn't have any. They're really just aimless unless you got to provide them aim. You got to be on them and tell them what to do. So I said, you guys, why don't you take the next few days, come back to me and say some things that you want to do, some work that you want to do. So this idea I came up with, it was bizarre. Enthusiastic about this one idea, which was to do, you know, Sinatra's duets, but rock style. I don't know which one of them thinks he's Frank Sinatra and who's supposed to be Barbra Streisand. Neither of them have any talent close to either one of them. And it's just, I mean, to take a classic like that, which really is nowhere near their genre, and to just try to turn it into rock is just, it's really ridiculous. It's the whole idea. And the other ideas they were coming up with were just as awful. They wanted to do a cover of the entire collection of the Beatles.
It's pretty bad. It's like a mix of Mariah Carey and how this living room smells.
So, you know, these guys, they think they're a band, and they want to act like a band, but just not in the regards to making money and making music. So, they want to go on tour. So, you know, I work for them, that's what they think, so I indulge them, right? So we go rent a van, and they say, oh, we're going on tour. But they don't even know where the hell they're going on tour to. They get in the car with musical equipment and drive around.
This guitar is really inconvenient.
I guess they want the experience. That's what he says. So they do it, they drive around, and they just look like idiots. They get in the van, they pack it full of equipment. I mean, these two guys, they think they're a band, and they're just driving around on back streets, basically in circles, yelling at people, telling them to go to the show they're going to be doing that night. But these shows don't exist. They think they're just going to materialize.
Listen to words coming to you! Wolf, listen to words! So, you know, the first time we went on the road, you know, we're in a nice big van, you know, got us our instruments and our equipment. You know, Sam gave us a bunch of crap about, you know, oh, we don't have the money for this. Oh, why are you guys going on tour? You know, you don't have any. I haven't even been able to book you any gigs. You know, it's just absolutely stupid. I don't understand, you know, who he thinks he is.
You know, I'm always asking Asian people, like, you from China or Japan? And they're always like, I am from Korea. And I'm like, no, well, is that part of China or Japan? I never get a straight answer out of them.
In the end, I don't really think, you know, being on the road, you know, just it's an experience. You know, bring yourselves together. You know, Tyler and I, we got you know, had some fun times. You know, late night runs for, you know, KFC and Red Robin. You know, things like that. You know, Sam keeps telling us, oh, you guys need to sleep before a show. Well, you know, haha, joke's on him. We didn't need to sleep. It's a free show. Who's gonna complain?
Vahlopolis and the No Ways have like the best concerts ever. They're my favorite concerts to go to. When I see Tyler up there on stage just doing what he does, it's awesome.
It's really bad. This is the sort of loss that I take comes in, because someone's got to buy the thing. And they think that I have to do it. So I rent them the van, you know, put the fuel in it, and these guys drive it around. Half the time they ding it up and they bring it back. But God knows what they're doing with it. But this is what they do to fill up their time. This is why they think they're a band.
Mark can't say stuff. He's texting his biatch.
Hey! Hey! Do not besmirch her good name!
She said something bad about T-Swizzle.
So did, what's her name, Savannah?
I haven't spoken to her since. She is on just complete probation, not allowed to speak to Tyler whatsoever.
So I'm the manager. I'm expected to book them gigs once in a while, and I try. I'm actually the manager. So yeah, I book them the gig, but these guys, they don't actually do it. They show up, and I mean, they don't actually do the gig. They get there, and they get thrown out at some point, or they don't even get there at all. I mean, they made it to the stage once, just once. And as soon as they got on stage, they said that the crowd wasn't enthusiastic at them enough, started insulting them, yelling profanities at the audience, just slammed around their instruments and stormed off in a fuss. And they wanted me to get them paid for that. I mean, I can't move mountains here. I get them to get, but these people, these are not professionals. They're just not professionals.
Free puppies in a box. 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 Chocolate lads and golden retrievers and shit. I like puppies, you like puppies, they are so legit. I love puppies and their shit. I love puppies and their shit. When I take them for walks, I take my golf club and golf with the shit.
You know, I guess being on the road's a good time. You know, it's the second time we went on a road tour. We decided to, just do some local stuff around Massachusetts and, one show in northern Connecticut. And we had to, pile into Tyler's Mitsubishi Lancer.
Oh, we got a Honda. Think he's cutting me off. Absolutely not. Fuck out of my way. Bitch! Oh, she's from Jersey.
Jersey girl, right her ass.
Excuse me, man. Excuse me. Excuse me. No, she's from New Jersey. Wonder if you want to suck like my 8 cock, because I'm also from Jersey.
Sam, I got Bunch Crunch.
Did you? The red light, we have over $200. I think you got a red light challenge. I'm asking you a series of questions. You got 30 seconds to answer, starting from the time when I finish the question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Please name all the states that begin with the letter W. Go.
Washington, Wyoming,
Wisconsin.
You need 2 more.
West Virginia. At this point, it's pretty clear that these guys have an obsession with the greats. A group, of course, that they're not among, but one of the greats is undoubtedly John Lennon. And so Vahlopolis one day decided that he wanted to, in a short, condensed period of time, live the life of John Lennon. So he tried to do this, tried to go from the baby to the teenager to the young man. But the most notable part of this was when he tried to do The Lost Weekend, where he, in a matter of hours, attempted to do what John Lennon did in a matter of years by leaving his wife, which he didn't actually have, but he pretended he had, sort of like, if you ever seen A Beautiful Mind, like the schizophrenic guy, he kind of did that, just pretended she was there. And so then he just basically spent the next hour pretending he was high off with a different woman. And then he came back to his family, and he had this intense emotional, pretended to, this emotional journey. It all took like an hour and 45 minutes, where he, in just brief seconds, went through different phases, basically doing different drugs, or pretending he was doing them, because he couldn't get a hold of these things, he doesn't know how to. And if he did, God forbid, he'd probably kill himself. When he ended this week on a Sunday, he was walking down the street and he pretended he was being shot. So he just collapsed onto the ground and then rose up again and began, pretended it didn't even happen, and just went on with his life as Vahlopolis and not longer as John Lennon.
I don't know. To sum up, Vahlopolis and the No Ways are just they're just hard. I can't explain their music. I mean, it's sometimes it's so fascinating and mind-blowing, but then sometimes it's so sad, There's the old saying, you'll laugh, you'll cry, but, sometimes you'll just laugh. And I cried sometimes, too. I cried.
Vahlopolis and the No Ways. They're like rocks. You may sit on them. You can sometimes pick them up. You can throw them. And when you put a guitar in their hands, pretty much the same thing happens. Usually nothing.
Hooray!